like that. You know, it'd be fun. An LFO that affects the level, the volume. Sound better with that's basically sidechain, which is nice too. What if it was filter? Little dramatic. Yeah, I think it's a little bit much. I mean, it's much better when you don't have it. When the kick is there. Trying to do kind of like a Daft Punk style thing, which I'm imagining you have kind of like a slowly rolling LFO that is playing with the filter width. Maybe it resets. Let's try it resetting first. So this is gonna kind of like go over that as this volume thing is happening. Well, actually, it needs to be set to the bass. Welcome, Ava. What I prefer though is you can kind of hear that it's resetting, and I would rather it kind of just change every time. Like that. Now what if it was... maybe a bit too deep. it's like it's a bit jarring. So let's bring it back to setting the volume to the saw. Make sure it doesn't go completely silent. And you can hear the filter kind of basically, if you're jumping in just now, I am basically just refining what I was working on Monday. I do these Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I have a number of different parts here. You'll see I have patterns 1 through 6 are all part 1. Then 7 and 8 are parts 2 and 3. And the goal is to set up a set that I can make and perform with on Friday. And I have a few different ideas. Each pattern is distinguished by a unique sequence in track 5, which is kind of where I'm putting my my prepared sample. So depending on the part, so in part 1, patterns 1 through 6 are all using the same sample, which here sounds like this. Let me turn off the LFO real quick. Right, so each pattern is a version of that. I can kind of go through these. Oh yeah, I forgot that because this is part 1. Shit. I have to make sure that I'm using the same, that I want this rhythm saved in track 3, which is where I put most of my rhythms. So let's switch this back to my drum and bass rhythm, because I think that was the best one for pattern 1. goal today is to get some scenes together that'll work for the performance, because I have really no scenes that I've prepared. Like, I don't even know what these do, really. So I'm going to make some scenes that will play with these patterns and then hopefully start the process of building scenes that I can use in future sets as well. I've done this before, I just don't remember how I have them set, so I usually have to do them over and over again. So hopefully this will create a bit of structure. I should also add that my banks are organized in a way that, like, this week is bank 4, last week was bank 3, the week before was bank 2, and so on. So I have everything saved in the same bank, which lets me kind of go back in time and be like, what did I like about this week? And save it, copy it over into this week. Last week I didn't work on any scenes, but if I save a bunch here this time, then I can copy them over into bank 5 for next week. Another thing I want to make a little bit easier on myself is to have claps saved as plocks, because what I've learned over time is that it's much easier to have claps and then add hi-hats as the default than it is to do the opposite. Well, first of all, I have twice as many trigs to input if I'm doing hi-hats, but I don't have to p-lock them. So in this case, in part 1, I have my p-lock set to launch the clap slice, which is number 5. But I have the default of this track set to track 7, slice 7, which is a hi-hat. In fact, I should do a longer one, shouldn't I? Maybe 9. So that lets me kind of pick hi-hats at will. Not that I would really want to do that particular pattern. Usually what I want to do is this. Hey, Mini Bear. Welcome. Good to see you. So here's a case where I've accidentally done the opposite. I have the hi-hats saved, but the claps are kind of like the default sound for this track, I think. So yeah, basically I have all of that set up here. If I want to, I'm trying to make sure that each pattern is the version that I want to start with. I can use this to, for example, remove the clap from pattern 1. right now, the only thing that's playing is track 5. And then I can add. And I can slowly bring in other elements. But the general idea being that the pattern will be complete, and then I'm just mixing elements of it here. And then I have tracks 1 and 2 for looping stuff from the other elements. You're welcome, Fuzzface, and welcome to today's set. It's going to be a bit short today, but I feel pretty good about this week's set because I came up with 9 patterns on Monday's stream, so I think I'll have a lot to mix between on Friday when I usually do my live streams. But I did want to go back to what I was talking about with setting up a set of scenes that I can call back to. And we're gonna do a trick that I came up with like maybe 6 months ago, involving track 3, which is at the moment it's all breakbeats. So we're gonna pick one. This one's one of my favorites, so let's go with that. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up an LFO. First we're gonna slice this into, I think we already have it sliced up. Cool. And it's 32 slices. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an LFO and map it to the start point of my sample. Set it to saw, and I can't remember exactly what the settings were for this part. But let's go ahead and create trigs here. Basically what I'm trying to do is program this machine so that it will play the sample as though it were playing just from, from the first point. But I'm using the slices to trigger it on time. So you'll notice this is not exactly the same as it was before, and that's because the speed of the LFO isn't correct. You can see it's cycled through it twice. In that period of time. So that means that I need to have my speed from 32 to 16 and set this to 32, and I think this is correct. Oof, no, it is not. Hold on. Oh, it's because I have two different hold on. It's because I have two different tracks doing the same thing. So LFO1 is already doing that. Let's set it to 16, 32. Right? Let's just focus on this beat here. So this sounds like it's playing correctly, but what's actually happening is it's triggering each slice in time, which means I can adjust the release of each sample trigger. Right? And then if I increase the release, you sort of hear the release cutting out right before it, and then if I pull it super long, then you'll hear the whole thing. So the reason I'm doing this is because there's this trick I discovered 6 months ago, which was that I can basically assign a scene to affect the speed of this LFO. Sorry, not the depth, but the speed. And that lets me speed up which sample is being triggered. So for example, I'll just keep this. So right now it's set to what it was before, which means that the samples are all playing at the same speed. The LFO is moving at the same speed that the pattern is moving. So you'll see it like that. But because my scene is mapped to increase the speed of the LFO, I'll show you. As I slowly speed up, right? So now it's like, you can see it moving faster, and it loops back to the beginning. So if I move it all the way, it's like kind of jumping all over the place. And the reason I want to do this is because if you take out these in-betweens, usually this is the most effective way to make it sound good, I find. So basically what I'm doing here is the beginning of the pattern's 2 bars. The beginning of the pattern is always going to play the first sample. This is because I have it set to start point 17 and the LFO is 32 in depth, which means that the beginning is 16 below. Sorry if this is confusing. But it's a saw wave, so it's going underneath the midpoint of the LFO. And 32, if the depth is 32, that means that the lowest point of that depth is 16 below the default value. So if I have my start point set to 17, my first slice is going to be 1, because it's 16 below 32. And then the furthest it's going to go is slice number 32. And the reason I want to do that is because there's 32 slices total. So, and the reason I only do it on the second bar is because usually the first bar is like, it's something that you want to like anchor onto when you're listening to it. So I'll play this with the music so you can kind of hear it. Like, I'm usually going to keep the first bar untouched. And basically this lets me set up a different spot. Lets me set up a different spot for the second bar where I can kind of put it somewhere and hear it shuffle around, because basically now the LFO is at a different speed and now it's picking different slices than it normally would. But because I don't have it anywhere on the first bar, that means I can move it around here and it's not going to change this first spot. If I was to keep this somewhere in the middle, it still wouldn't matter because my LFO is set to reset at the beginning of the pattern. Trig sync trig lets you reset your LFO every time the pattern resets. So this is always going to be 1, which is helpful to me because with breakbeats, you know, on the 1, you kind of want it to sound like the breakbeat that you've heard. And then maybe in the second bar, you start remixing it. So like if I was to do this, for example, and have like a bit more shuffling going on, it might be less enjoyable. So over time, I experiment with the second bar a little bit more. Still not too bad. But you'll notice it's just like, sometimes it doesn't sound quite right. So I've found it to be a lot more enjoyable when you just do it on the 1, on the quarter notes. I think the reason why it's making that sound is because it's accidentally picking the 30-second slice, which doesn't have as much information afterwards. So what I'm going to do is adjust this so that the depth is slightly lower. Right. I can't do that because then I'll affect the depth of this, which is why it's sounding weird. Cool. Well, I'll just increase the speed to something even higher and hope that it doesn't land on the last slice. And what's great about this is that it works with pretty much any breakbeat, provided it doesn't have a ton of swing, because usually swing kind of makes it sound weird. Let's try this one. Not really enjoying that speed. Hold on. Yeah, just a little too frenetic with those extras. I think I'm going to reslice this to 16 and make some adjustments here. Make this 16, make this 9. Because then I think this will give me... Welcome, Rustic. So that's one scene that I can play with. Another one I want to try, which is, oops. It's kind of a basic filter situation. I don't know if I should, the thing with scenes is that you kind of have to road test them. It's like, I can conceptually come up with something that might work, but I kind of just have to perform it and see what happens. I might want to introduce a new scene. The main reason being that I like this this pattern, but I also don't think it works well with the breakbeat thing. It sounds more like a Daft Punk type thing to me. So I've created a copy on 4, which is kind of messy because I've already used up 1, 2, and 3 chronologically through here. But I think I'm going to make a part 4 here and switch out the rhythm to something else. And that gives me just a lot more customization over how this sample sounds. Originally, the plan was to have each part, the main difference be the sample choice. But in this case, I want a bit more detail with how I shape the same sample, so I'm going to give it an additional part for this purpose. You know, like maybe I'll switch out the snare hit. The clap. Well, that doesn't really work. I don't know, clap kind of works a lot better than the other stuff. Maybe like a... Yeah, it sounds like music sounds better with you or something. Get a bit messy here and just put something over here. I'm gonna regret this later because I'm just putting stuff in random places on my audio pool now. Oh, that's right, I had something up here. It was a shaker of some sort. Kabasa. Never mind. Record this real quick. like I was saying earlier, if I have this part saved with the claps pre-locked, then I can change my hi-hats to where I want them to go. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, the hope is that, you know, certain things have to stay the same between all the patterns and all the parts. For example, tracks 1 and 2 should be just playing loops. So I have to set up my LFO again here in this track if I want to keep this. But the other issue here is I kind of have two conflicting rhythms because I'm not really going to do a breakbeat with the 4 on the floor. I could. I could keep it low, like this. My OB6 has been surprisingly quiet since yesterday. I'm not sure what's going on with it. Let's get to the bottom of it. Yeah, see, this is also part 1, which is weird. I think I'll copy it. No, I won't copy, I'll just move. I see the problem now. I have a lot of tracks that have this breakbeat on them. In this case, I might just key-lock a different hi-hat thing because I don't want to deal with figuring out where I would put it. That's actually pretty fun. I don't even know what's going on. What is that? Hi-hat? Oh, it's filtered. Again with that breakbeat, ugh, so much. It's just like so oppressive. Okay, let's see. That's not bad. As long as I don't let out the rest of it. Actually. Did I record it though? Nope. Because this is not saved. These parts need to be saved throughout. Because I think that they are not the same throughout all of these parts. Hello Bjorn. This thing right here is called a FaderFox PC4, and it takes MIDI or USB, and you can map it to what I have as volume, filter low, filter high, and release. Confused about this one. Yeah, I think this is the one I wanted. Harmonicon or Ocost? I would probably pick Harmonicon if I had to pick personally, because I don't have any of those sort of semi-modular Moog things, and I like Moog. I haven't touched like anything modular really. I mean, I don't know if anything on this table counts as modular. Maybe the Octatrack is the closest thing. Pretty. Always check these low and high settings on the analog heat. mess this part up and then reload it. So, one thing I can do just change the baseline with the scene. Go down maybe 3, 4. Yeah. So I have access, if I do 4 is nice because then you have the midpoint is 2 and the mid between those is semitones, so a lot easier to divide. Now how do I get from there to wherever this is? I bet it's not in the same key. Shit. Okay, so let's do some crazy delay. Nope. Hold on, one more time. Sorry, that's this touch strip that I should probably just take off because I don't use it. I'm just trying to transition this into the next section. Gonna have to work on that one. I should also mention I'm using a compressor here to create that kind of natural pumping effect. Not my best work, but imagine something like a distortion here. this mixing stuff has more to do with like knowing where I'm headed next, anticipating that, not getting stuck like I did just now, like 10 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, where I came up with something and I was like, I have no idea how I'm going to transition that. Cool. Thank you everyone for checking that out. I actually feel less confident about Friday's set than I did on Monday. Because now that I've played with this, I feel like because I have these ideas so well mapped out, there's a lot less I can do with keyboards. You know, like most of it is actually living in here. So we'll see. I've noticed that there's a lot less difference between, for example, this set and Monday's set as there was last week between the Wednesday set and the Monday set. I think the thing is too, when it's so fast, there's not as much time to think about different ideas or to branch off. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Thanks again for watching.